All right. So it's 7 o'clock now. Thank you very much, everyone, to join this Learn from Experts Flutter event. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It depends where you are. Today, I'm very glad to have Johan Jalivala as our speaker. Han has been a software developer for the past 4 years, specializing in creating apps and games with Flutter. His technical expertise extends to C Sharp, ASP.NET, MongoDB, and a variety of other technologies. His commitment to excellence and teamwork has been a driving force behind his successful projects. Outside of the work, he enjoys participating in coding challenges and contributing to the open source projects. Thank you, Rohan. Now the floor is yours. Yeah, you can share your screen. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me share my screen. Are you all able to see my screen?
We are meeting.
Okay, let me try it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's saying me that sorry, an error occurred.
So at the bottom, they have the icon one or just beside.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm clicking the share and everything, but at the end it's just saying me that an error occurred. Let me probably rejoin. Just give me a second.
Sure, no problem. Take your time.
I'm just curious if this event we're going to be like coding along, or we're just going to have him see him coding.
I think that for this one, we just seeing how he code, and probably after summer we may have some workshop so we can code together. But for this one, it's not. Yeah, definitely. I would like to hear everyone. What's your suggestion? And even you want to share something and you want to be the speaker, so everyone is welcome. Yeah, you know.
I'm still learning Flutter at school right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. It's this Flutter actually is a brand. I don't call brand new, but it's still new compared other technologies. So it's a lot of learning process, and everyone. Hi, okay.
Cool. Welcome back.
Welcome back. All right. So we cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Perfect.
So now you all are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah. Everything's perfect. Go ahead.
Bad start of the session, but yeah, probably we'll rock this session. Let's see. So basically, you all know the title From Code to Play, the Dino Run game. Basically, probably you all played that in past or not. I don't know, but I was used to play a lot, like the Google Chrome game when there is no internet and a dinosaur start running on the Google Chrome. I was used to play, and always I was wondering, okay, I'll probably build this in future, and this is the time with the Flutter. I have built this app, and that's why I thought to let's take this Flutter to the Flutter gaming platform to the events as well. So let So basically, as already introduced by Yufeng, my name is Rohan Jariala. I'm working as software developer, currently based in Ottawa company named Phoenix Cloud Access Control. And that's my basically little bit intro about me. And today's agenda will be the first of all the Flame overview, which we are going to use, which is supported by Flutter. The second will be we will download our base repository from my GitHub account. I'll give you the link, all of you, so you can download, and probably if you want, then you can start coding with me as well in that repository. And then as usual, as there is some basic code added, so I'll explain that code, and then we'll start developing the game, and last will be the Q&A session if someone has some questions regarding my presentation or anything regarding the Flutter or Flame gaming engine. Now, as I already mentioned, Flame is supported by Flutter. Like Flame is the 2D gaming platform toolkit supported by Flutter. It's kind of a package in Flutter. If you are using Flutter, that you know about the package you can get from pub.dev website, and basically it provides most of the stuff like looping and animation support and all the essentials 2D gaming. Basically, yeah, I forgot to mention, Flame is specifically for the 2D gaming rather than the 3D gaming which we are used to play. And it will give you the lots of extensions, so you can handle basically all the physics and collision detection or any kind of input which will happen in the game and anything. So yeah, in all, Flame also a cross-platform package, so you don't need to worry about, okay, I want to create this game for mobile, then I have to create different things or anything. It's the same way Flutter works. You just need to get the package, and it should work for at least one platform. Then it will going to work for all the other platforms like mobile, web, or Mac OS, or even the Windows platform. Now, here is the main thing. Like, I have created the base repository of this game, so I'll give you the link of that repository, and probably you all can download that repository as well. So let me paste the link in chat. Are you not able to see my code editor screen?
No, we still see presentation page.
Oh, really sorry for that. Let me just. Oh.
Maybe reshare another page.
Yeah. Okay, let me just try it again. Now. Okay.
Yes.
Now you are able to see, right?
Yeah. Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
let me just try it again. Really sorry for that stuff. Like I didn't know until someone sends the message that, okay, we are not able to see your screen. So all good, right, Lloyd?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, really sorry for all these things. Yeah, so it's just basic stuff you will able to see right now, which I explained. I basically explained this main.dart file, and now I'm on the player data file. Before that, I explained PubSpec, and now I'm on the player data file, which is just the class with the lives. How many lives will that player is going to have? We are doing right now one, or let's go with three lives a player will going to have. Then we need to check this as well. And this is the setter for the lives. So if lives decrease, we need to set the lives and everything. And current score, which required, okay, if I jump over the enemy or I kill the enemy, then we need to display the scores as well. Then I've added the one variable called current score, which has one getter and setter. And this change notifier is by, you can assume that it's with the provider, where it will notify other screens that, okay, probably when you call this notify listener, it will update this everywhere. Wherever we are using this lives variable, it will call them, okay, there is something changed for this variable. So it will automatically update this screen as well. And same for the current score as well. And now another part is this is just the basic model class with some of the properties, like for that enemy, like its image, enemy image, or how many frames it will capture, and its step time. So enemy will going to move itself to come closer to the uh, dinosaur. So we need to add texture and its size and the speed, how fast it will run or how fast it will fly. Basically, what you want to do it. Right now, we'll go with the run only. And now, now we will start with, let's go to presentation again. So as I already explained, asset folders, packages, and main.dart file and the model classes. Now we'll start coding. There are basically going to have only 5 files in this whole application. You can in future you can extend those things, but right now we are going to have only 5 files. Now we'll start with our first and foremost will be the how we are going to handle the dinosaur. So first of all, dinosaur will going to have 3 states currently. One will be the idle state when dinosaur is doing nothing. Second will be the run state when we are running the dinosaur, and the third will be the hit state when dinosaur collide with the enemy. So I just have the enum. So I'll just add that enum file over here, where you can see we have 3 state, idle, run, and hit state. Now we create the class dino, and as I already mentioned, so how dinosaur will work, like we need to animate some of this stuff, we need to display that dinosaur on the screen. So for that, the Flame provides animations. So if you are able to see this, Flame provides animation like a sprite animation component, which you can use to do a lot of animations. I'll just post this in chat as well. So we'll extend our class with that animation. We'll extend our class with that animation, and we also provide, okay, with what state you want to do that animation. And right now we have, as I already mentioned, we have 3 states. So I just added dino animation. Now this animation requires the map. So it's a constructor. So first of all, I'll add a map of animation, how it will work. So animation map will contains, okay, if it's idle state, then sprite animation dot sequence, and there will be step times, you like how amount will be the frames, how many frames this animation needs, which you need to decide while creating your dino object or your player as well. Currently in our case, I know the player will be smaller, so I just added four frames for this player, and the step time, how many seconds it will take to like go run each step, and this will be its texture size or and this will be its position. Like, okay, where do you want to position your actual player when it's in this state, in this state? When there is nothing, it will automatically make it to null. That means it's the center of the position. Like, it will not even displayed in this screen. And when it's in idle position, that means, okay, there is nothing. A dino is doing nothing. That means we don't need to display. So I don't have any position set for that one. But when it's moving, it's running, then there will be position. And when it's hit motion, like collided with the enemy, then there will be position as well. And then we need, as you can see, it's showing there is declaration, whereas one argument is required, whereas we are not giving anything. So we'll add the constructor of the app. Let's add the constructor. Now this image is required, the import statement. We can add just material and this player data. As I already mentioned, we have created this player data model class. We just need to implement that model class over here. So we can just do this. Final player data, and player data is, you can see this, just this model class. So if we go ahead, okay, let's see what's this. Okay, I basically import material. So you need to import UI and okay. Oops. Let's see what this error is saying. Okay, by mistakenly I imported sprite animation combo, whereas we need to import sprite animation group component because it's not one type of any animation. We are adding multiple animation at the same time, where you are going to add just one animation. At that time, you can use sprite animation component, but now we are going to use multi animation, so we require that multi animation components, and we just pass that to the Dino, and this required by the sprite animation. Now, if we move forward, we need what will be the height of the position of the player. So we can declare Flutter a double maximum, like height max. What will be the height maximum that player can go, and then we can also add when player is in jump state, how far it can jump. So right now both are 0, 0. That means nothing we are displaying. But now, once it will start, we need to do this, where we are calling this reset. We're going to this reset remove parentheses by the flame game, and the anchor will be the camera position. You can assume like it's a camera position. Currently we are focusing on the bottom left corner because at that place our player will be, and this will be the player exact position. Okay, vector, and this 32 and minus 22 you can assume as the padding. Vector 2, like if you don't know about the vector 2, it's basically the X and Y position which you require in the gaming, like all the gaming. Even though you are developing the gaming in the Unity or Real Engine, you will always going to use vector 2. And vector 2 doesn't mean it's the second type of vector. It's basically when you developing the 2D games. 2D games requires vector 2. And this is the pairing from the X position. So basically the horizontal line, and this is the pairing from the vertical line. And we need the size of the dinosaur as well. So right now I just added 24 as a size. And every time you reset, that means you are starting the app. The state will be the run state of that dinosaur, and you are seeing this all. You will assume, okay, what's that? These all are variables which we are getting from this sprite animation. As you already saw that there is a variable called current in this sprite animation. We require to pass them the value because the animation is going to handle how it will going to actually work everything. Now we require one more variable, which is heat. Okay, when we need to change it when the enemy collided with our player. So we will currently it's false. That means okay, it's working as it is. But once it's collide, we will just make it to true value. And this last thing, now for this game, we need to import multiple things. One is with collision callback. Collision callback will be, okay, there is something collision happened. Is it with it is with the player, another player, or something like enemy, or probably other components in the game as well. Right now, in our case, it will be always the enemy. Now, if we move forward, then every time you will start the game, there should be a screen. This game part you will understand later on when I'll explain there is a game reference stuff. I'll going to explain that later on. Let's start. Let's import that one as well. So as you already know, we can import multiple, we can extend multiple classes to the one class, and I'm adding one more class as game reference. Yes, we are going to have game reference, but I'll add that in future, probably exit reference, because we haven't created that file yet. And this virtual size will get from that basically file. Now there'll be going to have one every time you will start the app. As you already know, who is developing apps in Flutter, there's the on mount stuff. There's a on mount every time you will start the app. It will automatically call because it's override method. So it will be automatically called with the on mount, and basically we are calling this step first. Every time you start, okay, we are removing from parents and resetting everything from the start. And then we will add the dinosaur basically here with the rectangular box and the parent size as well. And then every time there'll be some update in your app. Every time there'll be some update in your app, there is one more method called update method, which is also the override method, where we are changing the jump height. Okay, every time you call this, DT will call you, okay, there is a jump happened, because only at that time it will call this update method. So it will automatically update this jump method, jump height. And with the jump height, we want to change the Y position of the dinosaur. Y position, as it's a 2D game, so you can assume as the chart that X and Y position. So we need to update, okay, currently the player is at that position. And okay, if Y is greater than height max, then we need to update Y again, because it shouldn't be greater than the maximum height of the game. So we'll update that, and then making the jump height again to 0. So it can come back to that position again, because we don't want to stick the player in the in the jump position always. And at the end, we are just checking, okay, the current state is not equals to hit, and then current state not equals to run. That means we need to convert to run, because now the state is not jump anymore. And now we need to, okay, what will happen when a player jump? So we have this method called jump method. We are going to call this method manually, because it can't be one thing in the game. Like, you can, in the future, if you are developing some other kind of games, then there won't be just the jump thing. Probably there will be run part. If you assume Mario game, then there will be run part. So it can't be automatically called, but we can call it by ourselves. Right now, as you know, X and Y position, so we need to minus the stuff for the Y position. Then we are changing the jump height to minus 300, and current position to idle again if state is like Y is greater than the height max. Then the one more thing we want to add, now we can probably, let's forget about the collision right now, and we can probably move to the another important file, which is the dino.dart, where it will handle all the gaming structure and everything. As I already mentioned, in the main.dart file, we are passing camera. Camera will be the position of the game, like what will be the size of the game. And as I already mentioned, with fixed resolution, so it doesn't matter, even your screen is smaller and you are trying to run this game, still it will run, because it will automatically adjust by itself. And we need to pass this, because in Dino Run file we are asking for it, as Flame game requires that camera position every time you start running the app. So camera position, now we need to, have you ever assumed like, okay, right now if I just close this and try to run the app in the Chrome. So it will take few seconds, and you're able to see there is nothing. It's just black background. Now you want to see something like such as background, the tree structure and other things. So that we are going to implement here in this one. So first of all, we will store all the images in one list, so image asset, and I just load all of them in one assets. And then there'll be override method on load. It's the override method, so every time the app will start, it will call this onload method as well. And this until onload method finish, this loading state will stay on. Okay, it will display the circular motion until we finish this onload method. And in onload method, we are going to do one thing is that we'll make this async. So load all the image. So have you ever wondered probably why games doesn't feel like, okay, it's going slow or anything like that? The main reason is they load all the images initially, and then they always load from the cache whenever they need. And that's what we are going to do as well. So our app works smoothly rather than just, okay, little bit clumsy. Then we also want to make it should be in like bigger screen, and it should be working always in landscape rather than the vertical mode. So that's why we just added flame.device should be in landscape, and it should be in full screen. Now if we move forward, then what do you think, like there are two other things we need to require. As we talk about Dino, how we are going to connect this with over here. The one way is create its variable, like, and just import that. So we created the Dino variable, and we need to handle player data in this file as well. So we created the player data and just imported that. Now there will be the size of the screen as well. So we added virtual size of the screen, which will be just, as I mentioned, camera.viewport.position. Camera is our basically the position as well. And every time you are starting the app, what we want to do is the camera position should be like in central. So I already measured that part, so that's why I just added 0.5 to over here, and it will also the speed of the camera, how fast it will going to move as well from one point, because we need to show them, okay, we are moving the camera, but actually the camera is not moving, just background we are flipping. And then now we want to store all the so these flags are just the background things. As you can see, these parallax are just the normal background, but now we need to set them in particular order, how they load themselves. So that's why I just added this variable, and we can import the flame component folder, and we can also import one flame parallax folder. Parallax is also the word of background which Flutter Flame use. So I just named them as it is. And one thing you will see over here, why I mentioned this, always the last image should be the one with the lowest velocity, because the Plex 6 is our base thing, like where dinosaur is going to run. In actual reality, the dinosaur is not going to run. This is just the background, but we will place our dinosaur at this place. Even if we move this stuff like upward, then we will not able to probably see this uh, bottom part as well, where dinosaur is going to run. And once it will load everything over here, and then we need to add little bit blur in the background as well, so it won't look like, okay, it's really close. And so we added just backdrop, and this backdrop will be all the images. And then we required now enemy. As you already know, without enemy we are not going to do anything. So I'll just create one folder, enemy, and we'll just create one more file, is the enemy.dart, and then we'll jump to that enemy file. I'll just going to code everything. I'm doing this way because we have time limitation right now, because I can't just code everything, as we have just 1 hour and we already passed our 40 minutes of that hour, so I have to do that way. So I'll going to explain, and you can ask me at the end later on, or probably after the meeting as well, that okay, this is what I didn't understand, so probably I'll mail the documentation or something. As I already mentioned, when you are going to have only one type of animation, not the multiple states of animation, at that time you can use sprite animation component. And over here with the enemy, we are going to have just one type of animation rather than the multi animation. So that's why I just use sprite animation, and also doing the same thing as we already learned about it, and passing the image of the enemy, because in future we'll going to have multi enemy. So right now we has one, so I'm just passing that. And then on the on mount, as this screen will going to have on mount as we have sprite animation over here. So on mount is the override method. This will be the size of the dinosaur, size of the enemy. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do it, but it's right now the perfect size, which I measured with the comparison of dinosaur size as well. And we added that rectangular box as well, because we don't know this box will be the for the enemy. We don't know how big will be enemy. They can't be collided until we support them. Okay, there is something to collide over here as well. So we need to pass. We need to always add this for our each and every class where we adding this sprite animation. And on update method, we are just changing the position of the X position, means the horizontal position of that enemy, with the speed and its dt. Speed X will be depends on what we create. We are going to create the enemy at that time. You will know, okay, what's the speed means actually. And once its X position is out of our screen, that means we need to remove that enemy. Otherwise, it will always stay. And sometimes if user plays for a long time, then it will going to stuck the app, because there are lots of enemies stored in the background. And every time you will pass that enemy, you will get +1 score, because we need to increase the score every time you will pass that enemy. So we are adding just +1 every time you pass that enemy. And that was about the enemy. So as we created for the Dino, there are two class, Dino and Dino Run. So there will be one more class for enemy as well. It will be the enemy manager.dart file. And this will be the main enemy, like where we are going to manage our enemy, to add enemy or the timer of that enemy and everything. Enemy data, this model class. Timer, like every time, how often do you want to spawn your enemy. Right now every 3 seconds I want to spawn my enemy, but you can make it this probably 2 seconds or something as well, or 1 second. This will be. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes, right now, okay.
Yeah, because I saw that, okay, there is connection
Okay,
problem.
we lost a couple seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you are able to see my screen as well, right?
Yes, but it's a blur. It's not clear.
Yeah, there is some issue with my Google Meet. It's displaying my dialog box.
Okay.
Let me just.
We lost you again.
There was something wrong with my Google Meet. I don't know.
Okay.
So I was mentioning this timer stuff, where every 2 seconds we want to respawn the enemy, means okay, it should start generating everything. We just don't want to generate it one time. That's why I added repeat true as well. So every 2 seconds it will click, and on timer dot on click on tick means when it reaches 2 seconds, it will call this spawn random enemy. And I'm checking if enemy data is null, that means we don't want to create anything. So I just return that part. Like, okay, we just don't want to go ahead with this. And if there is enemy data, we'll just pack into the enemy again, this enemy file. So this one has the reference of the enemy data, which enemy we created, and just the position of enemy. It will start from bottom right to bottom left to go to this way every time. That's why you added this position. And as I already mentioned, this is the position of that enemy as well. And then we want the size of the enemy. So we already have the in the model class of enemy, we already has the size texture size. So it will be the size of that enemy. And this is the by flame. So we want to add that in the game world, this enemy. Okay, we created enemy. We need to display that on screen. So we are just adding game world dot add and this enemy variable. On mount, again, same thing. Every time on mount, I'm just creating an enemy for that person. Right now, can fly is true, but we can make it can fly is false, but we can make it true. And every time you just starting the app, starting the game, we want to start this timer. And same on every update, we just want to update the timer. Okay, there is any update happened, and once the game over or something happened or restart the game, something happened, then we want to remove all the enemies from the screen rather than just keeping them in the world of game, because it will at the end it will going to affect our app. Now we require a screen like to see something like such as the game or anything. Then I have created the game screen. It's just the basic Flutter code. There is nothing related over here with the Flame engine. It's just basic Flutter code with the change notifiers with the provider thing. So every time there is an update in the application, it will automatically notify itself. And as you can, one thing is the score, as we have score variable in the player data. So we are just using that player data dot current score and display that score. And same with how many lives available for that player. Currently I have generated 5. Let's make it to 3 because we are going to have 3 lives for that player. And if I try to run it, let's see if it run or not. So if we just wait a few seconds, you can see, but you are not able to see anything because there is no game menu screen where actually we want to start the game. So now we'll just implement one more file. It's the game menu screen. So if I just get the code, which will be the main menu of RF. So main menu dot dart file, and there will be one more screen when game will be over, where you want to send your all the data and everything. So I added game over dot dart file as well. And we are going to add these multiple things. Just a few seconds. So now, as I already mentioned earlier, in the main menu, there was something like add overlay, and I already mentioned that every time you want to, whatever screen you have in the app, you want to display them. So there will be the overlay state of the app. And we just add this and import all the files over here. These are all of the screen names. Also, there is one more thing, is the what will be the initial screen. Like what will be our initial, as you already know, like always the initial will be the main menu. So I'm just passing its key, and you can see its ID is like just the name of the app. I added them, and if we go to dino.run file, okay, let's run the first of all, we fix these things in proper import statement. In the dino.dart file, if we add start game, if we add the, and I added just this reference over here. That's why you were able to see that error and this enemy reference. So we are just adding all the enemy. Okay, there is on collision happened. Then we are checking, is this collision with the enemy object? And current state is not equal to it. So we don't want to hit multiple times. We just want to, so if current state is not equal to it, that means state should be hit. Then we are changing the current state of our dino, and then hit timer start. And hit timer is basically 1 second. We want to keep it hit for 1 second. We can make it 2. Right now I'm keeping it to 1 again. And then player data dot lives -1, as you already, we need to decrease lives of the player particularly. And there'll be few one more stuff in this one as well, where we want to implement start game and end game. So if we go to start gameplay, every time when you click on that main menu play button, what you want to do? We want to get the dinosaur object from the cache. We want to create the enemy object. Enemy object will just tick this spawn every time because that's the constructor of that enemy object. And we want to add both of them into the world of our game. And this world object is by Flame as well. So we just want to add them in the world of game. And if we fix our import statement over here and just try to run our app, it will take few seconds. And we added this game menu screen, main menu, which is just name of the app, Dino Run, you are able to see. And then when you pressed on this button, we are calling game start, which will create the object of dinosaur, object of enemy, and both of them added in the real world, like game world. And now once you play button, we want to remove this main menu screen and start focusing on this background screen. That's why we are just remove this and adding the actual game screen in the system. So once you play, this is how it works. Score, you are seeing 3 lives. Every time you are seeing hit, it's hit. So every time you are going to hit an enemy, it will call this it's in Dino. It will call this on collision file, because we are collided with something, that this dinosaur collided with something, and we are just checking, okay, it was enemy and it was not in hit state, then just the hit state should run. And one more thing, this jump method. So how it will be called? In dino.run file, we added keyboard event extension. You can make it different event, but right now I want to jump every time with my space bar. So every time that event there is some key pressed in the game, then it will call this on key event, and it will check, okay, that was the space because that's how I want to jump. And we can call, okay, it was each space key. Then we are just calling this dino.jump, which we created here, where we are changing the size of the position of the dinosaur and everything. And the game ID should be current game screen. Otherwise, you just don't want to press space over here and in the background the dinosaur is jumping. So always game ID we need to check. And this is the normal thing. Okay, we handle the key, and if it's not space, then we just ignore that key. So this is how it will work. Every time you just restart it, you will play it. Now I'm pressing this space button. So every time I'll press this space button, it will automatically spawn the. Now you will wondering probably, okay, I don't want to spawn the enemy that fast. So we can increase here over here 5 seconds. And now you can see it's taking more time to show up the enemy because you can count even 5 seconds. Now one enemy show up, we are jumping. Another enemy show up, we are jumping. And every time the enemy goes, you will see the increased score. Even now we are changing the states every time on heat method. So that was about the game, like this Flutter Flame game. I know some of the things were like out of control, like the internet connection and other stuff. So hope you enjoyed this part. If someone have any questions or anything, then you can ask, or you can anytime just mail me on my email address, or you can reach out me on LinkedIn as well. I'm always available. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and really sorry for some of the weird things happened today with my internet connection.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. I just give the floor. And thank you very much, Johan,
Thank you.
to share your knowledge, share your skill. I just wondering because I look at the GitHub's repository. You had the very basic there, and you also show lots of new stuff during this presentation. And
Yeah.
I just wondering, you will share all the full source code to your repository, or so
So within 10-15 minutes, I'll upload whole code on the GitHub with some extra features which I didn't show, such as the music and some of the extra stuff which I was like, we have time constraint, like just 1 hour. It will not able to explain everything. So I'll add some more feature, and then you can learn on the official website. I can just post the official website where you can just go and learn about how Flame works and everything.
Perfect.
And yeah, you will able to get the code within 10, 15, 20 minutes maximum.
Yeah, no problem. And anyone has any question?
If you have and you are just probably a little bit shy to ask, then you can just reach out me on my mail address or somewhere. Here is my mail address as well, rohanjariya02@gmail.com, or you can reach out me on LinkedIn as well, Rohan Jariala.
Yeah.
I'll just paste both of them in the chat as well.
Perfect. All right, so it's 8 o'clock, and thank you so much, everyone. It's a very exciting process, and I learned a lot. Yeah, thank you. And
thank you.
Hope everyone enjoy your day. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. So we are global. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.